Hey everybody, today is Friday, Freelance Friday, episode number 70. As you know, we go live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And today is no different. You can find us on our social media platforms if you want to by utilizing our hashtag, which is hashtag the MLM Solution. It's hashtag the MLM Solution. Also, go to our website. You can go click on the live link there and watch us live from our website. You can go there by typing in themlmsolution.net or clicking the links below. With that being said, today, as I said, is, guess what, episode number 70. As you know, on Freelance Fridays, anything goes. We talk about, especially network marketing. We'll talk about any subject, the good, the bad, yes, even the ugly. We talk about things no one else would touch with a 10-foot pole. It's because we want you to be empowered with the right information, whether it's ugly or not. So with that being said, join us today. You never know what you're going to get. This is one of our most popular episodes, Freelance Fridays. And I'm sure this episode will be no different. Once again, we go live at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. I'm going to hop off of here so we can get this thing started.
Welcome to the MLM Solution Podcast Show, where you'll learn the facts and hear the truth about the network marketing industry. Here's your host, Rob Cootie and Marie Cannon.
Hello there, Miss Marie.
Hello, how's it going? Happy Friday.
It is a Friday. Friday. TGIF.
Yes.
Yes. And for all of you, yes, I'm wearing the same shirt. This is my Duluth shirt, which I love. No, I don't sleep in them.
But they're supposedly that comfortable.
Well, yeah, that's true. They are. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm wearing, you can't really see it. There we go. I'm wearing my Black Widow shirt today.
I was going to say, yeah, that's
so the weekend that movie came out, I took I call them one of the grandkids now because they're that generation. I took one of the grandkids to see the movie, and we ended up winning a Black Widow prize pack. Go figure. Really? But I kept the T-shirt. He got everything else. T-shirt wouldn't have fit him anyway.
Oh man, that's cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
I like that shirt.
It's the strangest thing. There's one particular shopping center over on the west side of the valley. Yeah. And it's like my lucky zone for some reason. So I won this prize pack at the movie theater. I once won a giant cow from the Chick-fil-A over there. Wow. I mean, it's just like any drawings or anything they have going on over there. Apparently, I get to win them. So I'm waiting for somebody to like raffle off a car or something like really worthwhile. Because I'm gonna go after it because that's like my lucky zone.
Well, at least you realize that's your lucky zone. That's awesome. I wish I was that lucky.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah. So you know, I've come around. I have come away with a T-shirt and a cow so far. So you know.
You got anything special planned for the weekend?
Not really. I think as most people know, definitely here in the U.S., but also there's impact around the world. It's the 20th anniversary of September 11th tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, kind of a solemn occasion. We have a organization here in Utah. There's a suburb of Salt Lake City called Sandy that puts up this memorial. It's like 3,000 American flags, and they kind of have a parade around it and some other things. But it's a really impressive display. So I think we're gonna go visit that tomorrow. So.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Thanks for sharing that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Indeed.
Well, I really don't have, my weekends have been kind of nice for a change, in that I don't have to run around with my head cut off like I used to. And I'm going to tell you, that's a blessing. I'll tell you that now. It used to be that I ran from Monday to Sunday.
That's too much running.
It wears you out.
For sure.
Yeah, it's not fun. I don't take pride. You know that I hate that. You know me, I hate cliches. Work smarter than harder. And I was listening to Gary Vanderchuck or whatever.
Vaynerchuk. Yeah.
And I like what he had to say. I'm late onto him. I did not know the guy even existed. I heard the name a couple of times, and I'm sad to say that I'm late to the game. I agree with some of the things he has to say. Not really sure if I'm a fan yet, but I am a fan of some of the things that he had to say, and one of them is this, because he touched on this: work smarter than harder, and he said bullshit. He said that's bullshit. Anybody that believes that, and I always felt that way too, but I really didn't know how to verbalize it like he did. But anyway, he said you got to work not only smart but hard. He said there is no recipe for success that says hard work is not part of the process. He said, I don't know anybody. And, he hangs around with some of the billionaires. He's worth like $300 million or something like that. And he hangs around or has hung around. I don't know if he still does. He's some of the world's billionaires. And like he said, he said, hell, every one of us worked 13, 14 hours a day, worked our tail ends off, didn't have money, had an idea, He said, hard work is the great separator from the pretenders to the contenders, right?
Well, yeah. And I think people make the mistake of assuming that what they see in other people's lifestyle or jobs or the work that they do, it's so much easier than it actually is. I'll give you a classic example, and not to go religious, but this is one area where I've definitely seen it, is pastors of churches.
Okay.
Most people, their perception of church is they go on a Sunday, maybe it's just Christmas, maybe it's Easter, and they go, and the typical church service is about an hour long, and the pastor preaches and delivers a message, and they think that's all he does, right? Is he works on Sunday mornings for maybe 2 or 3 hours if he has 2 or 3 different services, but they don't see all the time and effort that goes into developing the sermon that's probably part of a sermon series, and then actually, taking care of the people within his congregation. Plus, there's also, unfortunately, a business side to the church as well. There's a building of some sort or some place where they meet. So there's either rent or mortgage payments that need to be made. There's financial administration that needs to take place. Unless the pastor's a total one-man band, he has staff, employees that have to be managed and directed. And I mean, it's the whole shebang. There's so much more to it than people typically see. And I think that's a mistake that's made so often, that people will see something like, my favorite one is the kids nowadays, is they'll watch these YouTube videos of people who have like really fancy cars and they're driving them fast and all that kind of stuff. So they just have this image in their head that when they grow up, they're going to have a fancy car and they're going to make YouTube videos about it. And it's like, okay, well, first of all, you got to have the money in order to get that fancy car. And then you need the camera equipment in order to shoot the YouTube videos. And there's no understanding, no concept of everything that goes into that finished product that they see, right?
Yep. Well, I'll tell you, with with the life being the way that it is, some of the points that you make are so poignant that I hope people are paying attention. Right?
Hopefully. If they're not paying attention, we have a problem.
Yeah. I don't mean paying attention to our episode. I mean paying attention to what you have to say and the insights that you provide, because some of those things are invaluable.
Yeah.
Some of those things that you have to say are spot on, and why in the world would, when I first started out, I was so full of myself, and I don't mean I was egotistical. Probably more, I sheltered myself, and then when I started opening up and listening and communicating with people and interacting with people and listening to their viewpoints and opinions, like you just gave, it opened a whole new world to me. So hopefully people are listening, and what you were just saying, you always come up with great stuff.
Yeah. Well, and that's one of the reasons I really enjoy reading like biographies and autobiographies, the stories of different people's lives, because you kind of know, especially historical figures, you kind of know like maybe the highlights, but you don't recognize everything they went through to get to that point, to achieve that fame and notoriety that maybe they have, what they're actually known for. Mm-hmm. It's like everything builds up to that moment in time, and nobody has lived a magical rainbow and unicorns type of life, right? I mean, everybody's gone through their own version of crap. There's loss, there's grief, there's pain, there's hardship that goes on, and that all contributes to your story and how you get through things and how you achieve things. And it actually makes the achievement of some of your goals that much more sweet, right?
I think so. Yeah. I totally believe that. And, I think, there's a thrill and excitement and how can I put it? A rush that comes with achieving certain things, in life, and whether it's business or not. And man, that feeling's intoxicating. I don't know about you, but it kind of motivates me to go to the next level,
Well, it absolutely does. And the important part too is to enjoy the journey that's getting you there, right? Like you have your goal in mind, but it's not necessarily the be all and end all, because whatever your goal is, it doesn't matter what facet of your life it's in, it's not going to be all fun and games getting there, right? There's going to be some difficulty there. You have to enjoy the process of getting there. And then once you reach that goal, you can use that as the launch pad for your next achievement that you want. And again, it's kind of continuing that whole journey, because I don't know how many times, you find people that attain a certain amount of money. One of the best ones I've heard is, everybody wants to be a millionaire, right? Yeah. And $1 million isn't that impressive anymore, especially if, you own a home and you include the equity or that asset itself in calculating whether or not you're a millionaire. A lot of people, it's like they've got their mindset as once I'm worth $1 million, everything's going to be hunky dory, right? And then they hit that $1 million mark, and you look around and you go, it's not like I can actually just stop and retire and do nothing and drink out of the coconut on the beach, right? It just that's not the reality. And there's almost a level of disappointment sometimes when you hit a certain goal, especially if it's strictly a financial goal. You hit that amount of money and your life maybe isn't all that happy, or you've lost relationships or something along the way, and you realize that money is not the be all end all. That achievement didn't get you all the happiness you thought it was going to bring.
Yeah. Exactly. And, it's funny you say that, because that's exactly what I was talking about, the accomplishment. I told you about my love affair with pen rank. I don't know why. Those little pins excite me to no end.
You like jewelry. You're like one of the few dudes I know that's like, yes, jewelry.
I don't know what it is about those little things. I love collecting them. The bad thing is you can't buy them. You have to earn them. So no, I totally get. It's funny you say that because I know a lot of people say, "Oh, he's just saying that," but money's just the afterthought. The money's icing on the cake for me. Guys, I've gotten $100,000 checks. I've gotten $50,000 checks, 40,000. I've been so blessed and so fortunate in that regard, and it's not that big deal. As Miss Marie just said a minute ago, and I know it sounds to a lot of people, Miss Marie, we got to sound so elitist, so condescending, or so full of ourselves. $1 million is not a lot of money. It's not, guys. She's absolutely right. On one hand, it is. To you guys, it is. I can promise you, $1 million goes real fast. You'd be amazed at how fast that goes for various legitimate things. Okay. You have to scramble, Miss Marie, to hold on to $1 million. I'll be honest with you. Mm-hmm. You've got to get with somebody that you trust. You don't turn your money over to them. Never turn your money over to anybody. You should control your money, but there's no reason not to go and pay a professional and say, I got $1 million. How do I cut my taxes? Okay. Because the taxes right off top is going to be $300,000 if you don't do something with that. Now, if you invested or buy investment real estate or rental real estate, you can protect and take that $300,000 and take it down to $110,000, keeping $190,000 in your pocket or for your future, right, Miss Marie? Who wants to give away $300,000 to the government? Don't do that. So if you allow that to happen, now you're down to $700,000. If you buy a new house, now you're down to about $200,000. Okay, because you say, I don't want a mortgage payment, so I'm going to buy me a house. Most houses, Miss Marie, are what for most people, ranch, nothing fancy, $250 to $325, right?
Yeah, that's probably like the national median house price.
I would think so. So there's, let's say, $275. We won't even go to the high side of $325. The $275 out of $700,000. Now you're down to $435,000. That's not counting your cars, and the $435,000 has to last you a lifetime. Good luck. Because you know what, Miss Marie, even if you take the $300,000, which you owe the government if you don't invest it, because the government's saying, look, that's capital gains or whatever, however you got it. And guess what? You're going to have to pay on that unless you put the money back in the economy. And the way you do that is into real estate or gold or silver or an IRA or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. And the point is, guys, is that if you're not doing those things and working with the government, in other words, hey, they've got laws to help protect your assets and it can minimize your tax exposure, legitimate laws. If you're not working with the government to protect yourself, you're just throwing money down the toilet. So $1 million doesn't go far at all. And that's just having a standard way of living, Miss Marie. The wife and I sat down and talked about it. That's the reason why she didn't want to spend $1 million on a house, because she said, by the time we pay for this, we pay for that, we get, because, when you get to a certain age, 65, 70, you say, this is the last car I'm ever going to own. If I take care of it, because you don't drive like you used to. You don't travel the way you used to. Mm-hmm. So you put minimum miles on the car and the car will last you 10 years. Well, hell, that may be the last car you ever buy. And like she said, we need to pay cash for it. We don't want any payments. And I totally get it. She wants the house paid for. Totally get it. Well, guess what? That's going to take, for us, that's going to take $700,000-$800,000.
Yeah. So I'm curious, we always talk about, we ask our listeners to like, comment, share across our social media platforms. This is one where I'd love to have you guys drop a comment. Drop a comment, whatever channel you're listening to this through. What I want to know is, does $1 million sound like a lot of money to you? And if it doesn't, what does sound like a lot of money? What's the number that you hear and go, man, that's a lot of money? I'd just be curious to know. That's
really a good. Thank you for asking that. I would have never thought of doing that.
I'm curious to know, and by all means, you mentioned we sound elitist or whatever, and that's certainly not our intent by any means.
No.
But based on some of the things we've done, some of the things we've seen, this isn't a huge number to us anymore, right? You know, at one time it was. I'll tell you, Rob, when I was a kid, and when I'm saying a kid, I'm going to say high school.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to give the time frame, but people can probably do the math on that and figure out when it was. But when I was a kid, and it started when I was in grade school. So when I earned money as a kid, like I did the lemonade stand and those types of things, and usually it was money gifted to me by relatives for birthdays, Christmas, that type of thing. I'd save up my money like grade school, and I'd get my hands on a $20 bill, which to me was a tremendous amount of money. And I would always be carrying $20 in my pocket because it made me feel rich to a certain extent. It was money that I had. It was mine. And there's no way I was going to spend it because I didn't want to break that $20 bill. Because, you know, if $20 is a lot of money, well, $10 is half as much, and $5, well, that's nothing. And if you're down to like $1 or some coins or whatever, I'm going to go spend that on McDonald's on French fries or whatever, right? You end up spending the money on silly things, but didn't want to break that $20. When I hit high school, $100 was a lot of money. So I had $100 bill I'd carry around in my pocket. So, you know, there's always, as you go through life, your perspective on money and what's a lot changes. Yeah.
It does. Absolutely. And, you know, once you experience a certain level, you realize as you look back that it wasn't as big a deal as what you thought. And I know I've told you this before, and I'm sure you've experienced it yourself. When you start hanging around with a certain amount of people, a certain kind of people, in other words, the type of people that have money, they never talk about money. You know, they don't talk about how much money they have in the account. They talk about fun things that they enjoy doing, things that like family events and where they traveled to and what they did and how they made friends with so-and-so. There's a lot of conversation like that. And again, Rob, look at my Aston Martin. You know, Rob, look at my new Bentley. You know, Rob, look at my new pool. Very seldom do they do that. Every once in a while you'll run into somebody and you can tell that they're kind of new to the money, if you will. And of course you have people that are totally focused on the material things for the most part. I'll be honest with you, Murray, if I was to win the lottery, the wife and I were talking about this the other day, you know, $300-400 million. I really don't know what I would buy with it. We'd probably give a lot of it away to legitimate organizations. But you see my point?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I really don't know.
Yeah. Well, and that's why, you know, I know a lot of people look at the Mark Zuckerbergs of the world, the Jeff Bezos, the Richard Bransons, the Elon Musks, and it's just like, how much money does one person need? At some point, it's like, well, what are you going to spend it on? It's like, okay, I'm going to spend it on space travel because I want to go to Mars. It's just like, oh my goodness. And meanwhile, you have people here that are, you know, scraping by to make their monthly rent and put food on the table. So, you know, I certainly understand the disparity and the discouragement that can come from looking at that disparity. But at the same time, you look at what is possible once you learn how to leverage your time to actually set goals and achieve a certain level of income. It becomes a tool, right? I think when you're in a place where you're struggling, the money itself is kind of that be all end all.
Yeah.
But hopefully, if you're able to get to a certain point, you learn that, okay, once you have your basic needs taken care of, the money itself is not the be all end all. It's a tool for what you can do and how you can impact the world around you.
Yeah.
And obviously, I mean, all those guys I rattled off, I'm sure all of them have charities and things that they contribute to that if they were not as wealthy as they are, they wouldn't be able to do, right? But they probably don't run around bragging about that type of stuff, because people usually don't, with the exception of Bill Gates, so.
Right. Well, I'm sure it's funny to sit back and listen to us talk about things like this. And I'm sure some people would say, oh, they're just full of crap. But guys, I hope that you experience it someday. I truly do. I hope, golly, I feel like a walking cliche sometimes. I hope that you get to experience life the way it should be experienced. And that is the joy that comes from spending quality time, not only with yourself, because sometimes I think we forget about ourselves and all the things that we're trying to do, but also those that you care about. I'm telling you, the wife and I talk about that a lot, Miss Marie. We do. We say how blessed we are, how fortunate we are to spend time with each other, and how much we enjoy each other's company. And, I think that we're rich because of that, not because of the money, but because we have that life, that we have that. We rarely talk about anything financial. Every once in a while, she'll ask how we're doing. Are we okay?
Yeah. Well, and it's one of those things, and maybe we don't talk about it enough. I know I mention it every once in a while, and I feel like maybe I'm being repetitive, but maybe we need to say it more. That's one of the main reasons why we're here. That's why we're doing what we're doing, why you created this podcast, why we have so many different materials available on our website, because we know how leveraging network marketing industry as a means of creating an income for yourself can create a lifestyle, create an income, create that time freedom, unlike almost anything else you have available to you. And I'm talking the average person, and not just here in the US, where I think we do have a lot more opportunity than a lot of other places around the world. But network marketing is an international business. It's available in, I don't even know how many countries, but a lot of the countries on the face of the planet. So people can leverage the opportunity to create that income and that lifestyle for themselves. And that's why we're here, to help you leverage the network marketing business model to achieve your goals. That's our whole point of being here. And if we're talking about lifestyle things or income goals or those types of things that seem unattainable or ridiculous, it's not because there's any type of bragging or anything going on. We're trying to show you what's possible. And we want to help you as much as we can to achieve those goals.
Yeah, exactly. Guys, it's all about the lifestyle. I mean, I'm trying to think of a cool way to put it, but basics aren't always cool and sexy. So it's all about the lifestyle. I mean, listen to what we're talking about. We're talking about the life that you can build. When we teach you the 5 simple steps, it's all about the end game. And the end game of the 5 simple steps is to create that lifestyle. In order to live the lifestyle, you got to have the money. Okay, so we teach you how to create the money utilizing this business model and the 5 simple steps. They go hand in hand, but it's all about the lifestyle. At the end of the day, you can have all the money in the world, I kid you not, and be totally miserable. Matter of fact, Vaynerchuk, Gary Vaynerchuk, is that how?
Vaynerchuk.
Oh, Vaynerchuk. Okay, thank you. Because I don't want to mispronounce his name, be disrespectful here.
I'm pretty sure I could be mispronouncing.
No, I think it's right.
If I am. Sorry.
I agree, but I think you're correct. Anyway, he said that the other day. He said, look, I got friends. He said they make $67,000 a year, and he said they are so happy. He said they have the life they want, and they wouldn't change it for anything in the world. He said, I've got friends that are worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and they're totally miserable. And he does the same thing. And I'm not speaking today because of what I've only listened to like 3 or 4 of his videos. But the bottom line is I was struck by how many similarities him and I share. And of course, I think you do too, I think you share, I don't speak for you, as you know, but I think you and I have talked about some of these. So I would feel comfortable saying that you share some of these as well. But he's, he talked about the life, not the money. Because he said, the money didn't make these guys happy. They're miserable. And so, he preaches the same thing. But Miss Marie, network marketing is all about lifestyle change. That's the reason why you do it. Yes, it gives you more personal freedom. Yes, it gives you the money. But you can't have personal freedom without the lifestyle. And you can't have the lifestyle without the money. Okay? And as Miss Marie said earlier, the money just gives you the options. Okay? That's what it does. Is when you make the money, let's say you all made $1 million in network marketing this year. That doesn't automatically create a lifestyle. I knew a lady, and I told you this story before, and I'm not going to drag it out. We need to get off here. I kid you not, Miss Marie, she worked 18 hours a day. She was with a network marketing company that had one product. That one product was contacts. Contacts, like coffee, is one of the most procured things on this planet, on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Especially, 1-800 contacts or ordering them online, whatever. You get my point.
Yep.
Coffee is one of the most drank or most, would it be drank or drunk? Whatever. It's one of the most consumed beverages on the planet. Okay. Guess what? There's been network marketing companies that have used both of those as their mainline products. But Miss Marie, she had to work 18 hours a day to what? Recruit. She was nothing more than a recruiter. You couldn't keep people because there was not enough profit built into the contacts. Miss Marie would have to buy 1,000 contacts. Okay. And once she did, she would never need another contact, probably for the rest of her life. So she would never be a customer again. You see my point, right?
Right.
So it was a bad product from the get-go. They offered me multiple thousands of dollars to join. They're pretty much trying to recruit me through money. And I told them no, because I knew what the end item was going to be. Number one, it's unethical. Number two, I wanted to build it the right way and set the example so my downline could do the same. Number three, I knew that one product was not going to work. So anyway, we're going to cut this short because we got to get off here. But the point is, Miss Marie, she worked her tail end off to maintain that $1 million a year lifestyle. 18 hours a day. That's not a life. And guys, you can make $1 million this year, and it does not mean that you're going to have the lifestyle. There's a prime example right there. Okay. The money does not guarantee the lifestyle. The lifestyle is a conscious decision. Would you not agree?
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
And it's a result of proper investment of that $1 million so that you're not a slave to the debt you have. And then once you're not a slave to the debt, then you may not have to work anymore. So now you've got almost your whole day to do whatever you want. That's called personal freedom. And it all started with the right decisions, right, Miss Marie? And the money, the decisions came because the money gave you the options, right?
Absolutely.
There it is. All right.
So we need to go back to the practical things of building your network marketing business, and that brings us to our topic that we'll be covering on Monday.
Oh, listen to that lead in, boy. Is she good? Go ahead. There it is.
There it is. So Monday, we're going to be talking about building from one event to another. Now, this came up in a couple different episodes this past week. It's a topic we've never really kind of discussed specifically. We've touched on it in various different ways. So we're going to do a deep dive on that on Monday, the importance it has to growing your business and getting you to those goals that you're after. So be sure to join us Monday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern.
There you go. There it is, guys. And with that, we need to get off here, Miss Marie. All right, guys. Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, as always. Please share our hashtag the MLM Solution. Visit our website, themlmsolution.net. And if you like what we always have to say on our episodes, please give us a thumbs up. The algorithm loves engagement. If you go to our various platforms, please like, share, and comment. Especially if you go to our YouTube, hit the little bell twice so you can get notified when we go live and when we upload content. All right, Miss Marie, I think that brings it to an end. I'm ready to go. How about you? It's time to start.
I am. Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you Monday morning.
And I agree. See you later, Miss Marie. Be safe. Be careful. God bless.
Thanks for listening to today's podcast. Download our podcast on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, and other podcast platforms. Visit our website at www.themlmsolution.net for additional important information, show details, and past shows. Follow us on Parler, Rumble, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Please hit the like button, the subscribe button, or the get notified button while visiting our other social media platforms.